Okay, everybody, thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Josh Asbury, and I'm the COO of Infinity Software Solutions. Joining me on today's webinar are Brent Meeks, the Senior Director of Sales Engineering for Highway, and Forrest Wheeler, the Head of Account Management for Infinity Software Solutions. We are going to discuss why we, Infinity Software Solutions, chose to partner with Highway. Brent then will educate us on the current state of fraud in the freight industry, and then he's going to show us how Highway's solution helps customers, really efficiently combat freight fraud. So it's a very slick solution of what Highway has developed, and it's pretty cool. Forrest will then wrap things up by showing us how BrokerPro's integration with Highway actually works. I think you're going to be pretty impressed. The two applications really seamlessly work together, meaning really the only operational change your team is going to need to make will just be to enjoy efficiency gains and not getting scammed by the bad guys. So why did we choose to partner with Highway? The long and short of it is, we want our customers to win, and we strategically add integrations that help them do so. We all know that fraud is running rampant in the freight industry, and users of BrokerPro absolutely need to have the right tools in place to protect their business from the bad guys. Together with Highway, we thought through what the user experience really should be inside of BrokerPro TMS and ensure that the integration of the two systems was absolutely seamless. So data passes between BrokerPro and Highway in real time, meaning that your agents will be working with the most up-to-date and comprehensive data available when they need to onboard a carrier or assign a load, right? So it's the integration is really seamless. Protecting our customers' business, it's too important to leave to a half-baked integration. I've seen plenty that are hard to use or worse, unreliable, where things aren't getting updated quickly enough for the quick decisions your teams have to make. We didn't want any of that. So Highway's team and our team were phenomenal working together, and we ensured that the technology got out of the way. The primary objective really is protecting our customers' business from the bad actors. And the fact that when you see the Highway stuff, then you see how it gets baked into BrokerPro. It's really pretty cool. It's really neat how things work and how the decisions are made in real time, quickly, effortlessly, and effectively, so your team can do their job. So that said, I'm really proud of the work we've done, and I think you're going to like what you see. So, all right, and without further ado, here's Brent.
Hey, everybody. My name is Brent Meeks. I'm the Senior Director of Sales Engineering here at Highway. Just a little bit about me before I really dive in here. I joined Highway the end of November 2022. It's a week after we launched our Connect product to the market. And since then, my team has done nothing but stand up our customers and get them implemented with Highway and integrated with their TMSs. So we're really excited to launch here with BrokerPro. We've done 300 implementations since I started. We did that rough math a few weeks ago, and it was shocking, right? And one thing I like to say though is none of those implementations have been exactly the same. Like every customer is different. Every broker has a unique use case that pops up, and our teams are nimble and flexible, and we love solving those problems in partnership with our TMS partners, and BrokerPro has been great to work with so far. So we're really excited to launch this here today, and thanks for coming. So just real quickly, just the different types of fraud that we're seeing out in the market: double brokering, identity theft, just fake companies, fraudulent carriers, all resulting in financial losses, operational disruption, just delays in the supply chain. But most importantly, just reputational damages to our broker customers, right? Even unknowingly being a part of those fraudulent acts, right? So contributing factors to that, just increased online activity, just the complexity of the supply chain altogether, and just lack of oversight, right? And that's where Highway comes in. And we've positioned ourselves uniquely at the front of that relationship between the broker and the carrier, right? And just a few data points here. Just last week, more than 104 users from 22 different countries outside of North America tried and failed to claim a carrier's identity. And what that means is they tried to onboard in Highway, they tried to falsely represent themselves and claim a carrier's identity or falsely try to represent themselves as an authenticated representative of the carrier, right? And in that moment, they were either denied or they just abandoned the process altogether. And 3,612 carrier accounts were only accessed by their authorized users from outside of North America last week, just last week. And what that means is not one authorized user from that carrier logged in from the United States, Mexico, or Canada, right? And that's what an insight that is available on the carrier's profile within Highway, which I'll get to shortly. But you can also make that a rule. That's something that could reject a carrier during onboarding if we see that about the carrier's access within Highway. Also, more than 1,247 carriers had their phone number filed with the FMCSA changed to a phone number matching another carrier's phone number. Same thing with an email address, 517 cases of that as well. And that's also a insight that we produce when we see that data come through. We produce that insight on the carrier profile, and you could also make that insight a rejection criteria for onboarding. So with that, what I have prepared today is a demonstration from two perspectives. The broker's perspective, what most folks on this call will see when they log into Highway. The broker user's perspective when you're sourcing, searching, vetting carriers, and ultimately inviting them to connect with you through Highway and onboard. And then I've got a carrier profile ready to actually do the onboarding process. So you'll see what that looks like from the carrier's perspective. So what I have prepared here is this is the Highway broker user experience, right? I've created a company here called Trophy Point Logistics, just a fake broker, but I'm logged in as Trophy Point. So everything you see here will be from the Trophy Point user's perspective. So I'll just start with a simple lane search. So yeah, in lane certainty, it's an algorithm that we have that takes a few things into consideration. Their observed lane history through inspection data, DMV data, things like that, ELD data, their preferred lane history where they've told us during onboarding where they like to run, and then also considered is their headquarter address, right? And based on those three things, we present an ordered list of carriers for your review within that lane. And you'll see a few things here. First thing on the far right, you'll see the assessment, right? And the assessment is the result of our broker's unique classifications and rule sets, which my team works with our brokers from our kickoff call. During implementations, we go over your classifications and your rules, which I'll show you here shortly, but it's all very configurable. And what you'll see here is the result of that assessment. And you'll see one of four things: pass, partial pass, fail, or incomplete. And then here on the left, anywhere you see this Highway shield within the Highway UI, if you just hover over it, you'll see a little pop-up that gives you just the carrier status across Highway. Whether the carrier is registered with Highway, meaning at some point they've come through, they've proven their identity to Highway, and maybe even onboarded with another broker. But most importantly, the status with you, right? The carrier is registered with Highway in this case, but they're not connected to you, right? So that's what that gold shield means. Also have a variety of different search parameters. You can search by equipment, fleet size range, any specialized certifications, authority age range, insurance requirements and thresholds, and then more geolocation-based search results you'd like to set. When you click into a carrier profile, I've got one set up here. This is the one we'll be onboarding with, so I'll show you this one. Class 1 transportation. Again, if you hover over the shield, you can see that this carrier is registered with Highway, but they're not connected to the broker, right? Meaning somebody from this carrier's come through, they've proven their identity to Highway, and probably completed an onboarding packet for another broker in network, but not with Trophy Point. Now let's talk about the assessment that I referenced earlier. This one is a partial pass. And what that means is we've got these classifications set up for this broker, and these are all very configurable. Like these are based on load types. You've got interstate, intrastate, California interstate, high value cargo, power only, etc. Right? And each one of these classifications has a unique rule set. The baseline rule set, it's the same across all of these, right? But as you get more specific, like hazmat, for example, we're going to check for that hazmat certification, right? So at a high level, we can tell you they're good for an interstate load, but they're not good for a hazmat load, right? And that results in a partial pass. So from an onboarding perspective, a partial pass, they're good to go. And at a high level, you know what type of loads they'll be good to run for you. And if I click one of these pill-shaped classifications, or I click classifications right here, it takes me to the same place. And I can see the underlying rule set associated with this classification. And in this case, the carrier is good for the interstate rules that we've configured specifically for this broker. And your rules might be a little different, but my team works with you on that. You scroll down through the classifications, and you can see the underlying rule set, for the most part, is pretty much the same across the board. But as you get more specific, like California Interstate, for example, we're checking for carb, truck, and bus, advanced fleets, things like that specific to that load type. High value cargo is another good example. The baseline rule set is exactly the same. We're just looking for a higher threshold of cargo coverage. And that's also configured, based on your needs and your thresholds. So one thing I want to point out before I move on from the assessment is this is part of our integration with BrokerPro. When you go and you're looking at a carrier in BrokerPro, you will see these assessments results, either a pass, meaning they're passing every single one of your classifications, partial pass, meaning they're passing one, at least one, but not all, or a fail, meaning they're failing all of them. So scrolling down, I mentioned insights before. So any insights, we've got a variety of different insights that we present on carriers. This one has user attempting to log in as a wrong carrier, meaning somebody that's already associated with this carrier attempted to log in with another carrier, right? They use the same phone number or the same email address, and Highway caught that, and we flagged it here for your consideration. We didn't necessarily fail the carrier. Like if they onboarded, they wouldn't fail specifically for this unless you told my team to set this up as a rule, and we could do that for you. Otherwise, we just want to let you know, hey, somebody from this carrier attempted to log in as another carrier. Lane preferences. This is where you can see, based on historical inspection data, where they've told us they prefer to run, how many inspections in each state based on the shade of the yellow here. The blue dots are is the inspection history. And then you can also see the overlap on where they've told us they like to run and where we've actually seen them run. We give you all of the equipment data we have on the carrier that we've observed, as well as some statistics based on comparing that equipment data with similar carriers of similar fleet sizes and where they rank within those cohorts. Authority data, insurance data, you can refer to their insurance certificates. All of this is available via API as well. Click there, I can view the certificate. Review safety data, inspections, and then again, we offer you some statistics compared to similar carriers of similar fleet sizes and where they rank in terms of inspection history. We also tell you observed versus reported. Crash history associated with those vehicles, and more operational data, and any certifications. This one doesn't have any, but any certifications that we verified will be listed here. But ultimately, everything you see here, right, can be configured either as an insight or as a rule set inside of a classification. that we will assess as a carrier onboards or as we monitor the carrier based on what we've configured for your group as far as your qualifications of carrier onboarding. So at this point, I've sourced a carrier, I've sourced a lane, I've picked a carrier, I've reviewed all the data Highway has on it, and at this point, I'm ready for this carrier to onboard with me. Because again, Highway knows this carrier, but they haven't completed my packet yet. And so there's a few different ways that a user can invite a carrier to onboard. One is simply by clicking this connect button. Clicking this connect button will send an email to the carrier, the verified user's inbox, and they can click the link there and they can begin the onboarding process with Highway. Another way they can onboard is just sending that OAuth link that we provide you at Go Live. You can just send that via email to a carrier and they can click it and onboard that way. And another way, the way I'm going to show you today is actually you've got that OAuth link embedded into a single sign-on button, right? We're Highway, we've positioned ourselves at the front of a broker's digital experience, whether that be a load board, whether that be a digital carrier portal, but Highway's positioned ourselves at the front of that experience with a single sign-on, right? And I'm going to show you what that looks like. But my point here is any way they click that onboarding link, whether it's you click here and they click in their inbox, or you send it to them directly, or they click that single sign-on button that looks like this, Highway's going to do the same thing every time. It's going to check for three things. When I click this sign-in button as a user, Highway is going to ask, does Highway know this user? Does the broker know this user? And are they currently at this very moment in compliance with the broker's rule set? So what I have set up for you today is I'm going to log in as Class 1 Transport. And the carrier is registered with Highway, but is not connected to you, right? So the first answer, does Highway know this user? The answer is yes. Does Trophy Point know this user? The answer is no. So I'm going to land directly in that packet, but I'm going to get to skip the first part, and I'll show you that right now. So as a user, I'm coming to Trophy Point. I'm going to log in, and I land directly in the payment step. Highway already knew me, so I got to skip these first few screens, right? I've already done that with a previous onboard. So at this point, I'm just telling Trophy Point how I want to get paid. And Highway already knows how I want to get paid because I've already done this. So now I just confirm this, yes, business capital. I'm confirming my tax ID. And this is the last step. I'm simply by pressing agree and continue, we're going to apply a digital signature and auto-populate both of these documents. And at that point, in real time, with the integration with BrokerPro via webhook, I'm sending this data instantly. And that's it. Like that experience that you just saw for a carrier onboard, it's over 96% of our onboards at this time is that user experience where, hey, this is a returning Highway user and I'm just answering a few questions very quickly and I'm done onboarding. That's the happy path, right? And then that 4% where Highway doesn't know the user, I'm going to have to prove my identity to Highway and I'm going to have to prove that I've got the authority to represent the carrier. Now, one more thing I want to show you here is the next time I come back, the next time I click that button, no matter where it is, you could send it to me. I can come back to your load board or your carrier portal. The next time I click this button, I'm going to ask those same three things of the carrier user. Does Highway know this user? Does Trophy Point know this user? And are they currently compliant? And in this case, because I've already onboarded with Trophy Point, which you just saw me do, the answer to all three of those questions is yes. So I'm going to click sign in with Highway. And now and this is just a landing page, but we can redirect the user wherever they need to go. But at this point, I'm looking at loads or I'm in your carrier portal. I just log right in. But in each case, we've positioned ourselves at the front of that relationship where no one's going to be into your system or into your network without answering those three questions every time they come to visit you. So Josh, at this point, I think I'll turn it over to you to show the broker point side of things. But before I do that, is there anything else you'd like me to discuss here on the highway side?
No, I think this is very clear, and it's pretty great. So, we did have a question from Barb. How long does it take to onboard a carrier through highway when all required documents are presented? And you answer that question. Let me open it up to the attendees, though, before we jump over into the BrokerPro side. Does anybody have any questions just while things are fresh on your mind? Please put them into the Q&A area. All right, I don't see any little thought bubbles yet. So if you do, please add them. But Forrest, why don't you go ahead and share your screen and show us how the magic works inside of BrokerPro.
Good deal. So I'm going to show you guys an overview about just how seamless the highway integration is within BrokerPro. First, I'm going to start by just doing a simple lookup on a carrier. Just show you guys kind of the invite process directly from BrokerPro side of things. So you will have a drop down here at the very top of BrokerPro under carriers for lookup carrier with highway. And when this dialog box opens, you can either type in an MC, a DOT number, a stat number directly here at the top. And so you just type in the carrier's MC number here at the top and hit search, and it would do an instant lookup on this carrier. And so you guys can see here, it will give me the company information. It will pull over all the related documentation as well, like Brent was saying earlier. It will pull over certificates of insurance, W-9 forms, as well as carrier contracts like that as well. So you can see here at a quick glance, we see all their insurance policies and what contacts are here at the company. And so from here, all I need to simply do is just hit invite. And that'll send the invite over to the carrier. Whenever the carrier gets done onboarding, you will actually get a notification directly within BrokerPro in the top right-hand corner where the gearbox is and the bell is, and it will tell you that they were successfully onboarded and stored within the system. And so as far as just quickly applying a carrier to the load, you would just simply go to the load when you're inside of BrokerPro. You would click on the carrier section here at the top, and you would just type in either the carrier's name or the MC number here. And whenever you select a carrier, it'll basically give you the same thing that Brent was showing you earlier as far as the risk assessment portion from highway. So you can see here that they're a partial pass. And so as an admin user, I can go ahead and override them if I want to, or I can hit no here. If I hit yes, it will go ahead and apply to the load. But I also wanted to show you guys if it was a fail, what it would kind of look like as well. So I got another carrier inside of here that's just, it's not very prime. So you can see here they fail on pretty much every metric. And so as an admin, you could still override it if you need to, but agents by default, it would kick this off the load to let you know this is definitely a carrier you wouldn't want to use for this load. And like Brent was saying earlier, I think another thing that really makes this integration super seamless is kind of the time to onboard, because whenever they get done completing the packet, since we're using the webhooks like this, it instantly pulls over the information. So gone are the days of waiting 5 or 10 minutes after your carriers get done completing the onboarding process. It will instantly be brought into the system. And I think that's a really great part about the integration. And I'm proud of the work that we've done for this. To say, I think kind of the next portion of this is just the Q&A section of this. So I'll open it up a little bit more and see if our customers or prospects have any questions for us.
Yeah, want to add just a little bit of a color commentary there. We didn't have a lot to show on the BrokerPro side, which I think is really awesome, because Highway's doing all the heavy lifting, right? All that. And to answer your question, Russell, do you access Highway through BrokerPro? Yes, it's all done via webhooks. We're ingesting that data, comparing it with what's inside of BrokerPro, and letting you and your teams make those decisions in real time based on the insights from Highway. So it's very cool, very slick, and like I said, I'm very happy that there's not a lot to show, because the UI, you can see it's very seamless. BrokerPro and Highway are kind of working together there at the UI level to put relevant, timely information in front of your teams, in real time as they're assigning carriers, booking loads, all that good stuff. So that said, thank you, Forrest, for the demo. Thank you, Brent. Do we have any other questions? Is this all clear to everybody? I hate not having that many questions. It's either we did a great job or we did a lousy job. So I always like to prefer us do a great job.
Yeah,
all right, we have a couple more questions. So, are we able to see the different emails and contacts we see on Highway's portal? Brent?
Yeah. So during the onboarding process, there is a required, the first time a verified carrier user comes through, we require billing, claims, and a dispatch contact, which is passed via API with every packet. And it's always in the carrier detail body for every alert that comes over to BrokerPro. Yes. And then is highway vetting carriers from Canada as well. Yes. We onboard and monitor Canadian carriers. Yes.
All right. Well, if there are no other questions, we can go ahead and wrap things up. But if you do have questions or are interested, we will obviously be sending you an email. Forrest's email, Forrest at BrokerPro. I'm Josh at BrokerPro.com. Email Brent at Highway. It's Brent at Highway.com. And please let us know how we can help you and how we can serve you. So I think this should wrap everything up. Thank you all for joining. Highway team, thank you for working through the webinar with us, and we're really excited by this integration, and I think our customers are really going to benefit from it. So thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.
You guys.
Thanks, guys.